Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is just a quick one. I just wanted to do a script analysis because I see a lot of people some people are having issues with the super simple radar, and so I just want to go over the code one more time, just to show how it works. So basically, 1 through 8. I wonder if this was the... Yeah, this is the super simple radar. So if we took line... Alright, so the first thing we do is we define the screen size. In this case, it's a 3x3 screen, so it's 96 pixels by 96 pixels, the width and the height. Then we have two functions here. We have the onTick function, which ends here, and then we have the onDraw function. All right. So what do those two functions do? Well, the tick function means every logical tick, it's going to compute this code. Every logical tick is going to compute the code. And on the onDraw function, it's going to say, similarly, every logical tick, it's going to draw this, whatever we tell it to draw. So, first we get our inputs. And again, I want to just stress, spelling is really important. Make sure your spelling is really important, right? So I think I was replying to a comment on YouTube, and I'm actually going to reply again. And I told him that I spelled input like this: input.getNumber. We could say that, and that won't work. It needs to be lowercase. Where we get that here. Input get number, input get number. Output set number. So the first is lowercase, and then this is uppercase, and this is all lowercase. So all the code is like that. The width, the height, right? Lowercase, uppercase. So I make spelling mistakes all the time. Sometimes I do things too fast, and I don't double check my work. I'm just admitting that, and that 99% of the time usually is the issue. And then you have your functions, right? Set the color of the screen, the onDraw function. So this is drawing onto the screen. We'll do the map. I am going to go over that. There's a lot here, and then if you want to turn it into a touch screen, there isn't too much to it. I see they added a little bit here, and then we'll do a little bit more. Additional functions are available, so math. So I'm wondering if we could probably do like, it won't matter, we'll test it out. So yeah, so I just want to stress that it's really important that you check your spelling. So the first thing we do is we get all 8 of the inputs. Then what we need is, we need the rotation, our azimuth angle, and then we need our elevation. Am I using the elevation or am I using the distance? This is the distance to the target, and this is our, oh yeah, because it's two-dimensional, that's right. So we need our rotation, we need our azimuth angle to where the target is in relation to us, and then we need the distance from where we are to the detected target. All right, and that's the same thing. Rotation equals input.getNumber. Make sure you just check your spelling on that one. Distance, same thing, input.getNumber. Just check your spelling on that one. Then what we want to do is we need to convert these numbers into degrees. So we take the rotation, the angle of rotation, the azimuth angle, we multiply it by 360, and we do that in brackets. So it's going to do this calculation first. Then it's going to multiply that by And we can even do this really. You know, it'll make the code run a bit smoother. Whoops. Because I'm not sure if it will do the multiply it. Yeah, it doesn't do it. This is all one function here anyways. Right, so it's going to do that. And then what we do is that gives us an X value, which is a horizontal value, and it gives us a Y value, which is a vertical value. And that allows us to find the position, the two-dimensional position on the screen. So we can make a circle there, or we can make a line drawing to that X and Y value. And in order to do that, we need X1 and Y1. And now here you see I have the W and H. So that starts. This is defined before the code starts. Now why is that? If I define it before the code starts, anywhere in the code, if I want to use W or H, I can do that, and it has these values. Easy peasy, really simple. So from there, basically, it's the same thing. Now we could wrap, yeah, it's all one function. We need cosine and sine. And then we add our number, in this case 1.58, so it's here at the bottom, but we can change that number. Alright, so it's just a code analysis video. I know, there's nothing great. And then, so then when we spawn it in, and we turn it on, there we go, we have a line, that's where I am. Cool, and it's picking me up on there every time I'm detected. Now there's a bit of a delay, obviously, between the white line is when we're detected, and oh, interesting. It doesn't want to scale. Oh, it changes color. Oh, that's interesting. A different target. Interesting. So this is channel 1, and then when I get up to this distance, oh, I was now detected by channel 1 and channel 2. Yeah, cool. You can see me moving around. All right, so that's basically that. So what the little blue circle is the printed circle. In order to get that printed circle on the screen, we need an X and a Y value. So now that we have an X and a Y value defined by this, on the onDraw function, every logic tick we want to draw on the screen, we set the color of the screen, and we tell it to draw a circle. In this case, it's green, blue, oh, they're all the rest, whatever it is, right? So you can set an individual color for all the other targets, and that's it. And then what I did is I set a line as well. So what will now happen, and that's it. And then you just repeat it several times, check your spelling, and it should work. There we go, now we got a line. Except, it's blue. Why is that? I wonder if. Hold on a second. I need to look up. All right, so that's blue. 00255. Okay. And then that must be green. Yeah, more or less. More or less. Let's say try 128. Right, so this is the super simple radar. It's on a 3x3 screen, 96 by 96 pixels. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh. Yeah, that's cool. It's neat, right? We have our own custom radar that we can change around. So the other thing that we need to make sure is that our inputs are correct. So into Lua block number 1, we have our radar, and then I just have this out signal, which turns on a light every time it detects a target on channel 1. So what we can do here is we can copy this and we can paste it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no. Let's do this instead. What we're going to do is we'll update it. Let's see. We need to what's going on? It's been so long. Alright, so we can make this composite. We can say output, and we can say radar target out. Can we do that? I think we can. We can even just, honestly, we don't even have to run it through the microcontroller. You can just run it into some numbers, but we're going to run it through the microcontroller anyway. So there we have radar out. I guess that won't really, because we still have to split it, right? Yeah. We don't need this one. We'll get rid of that. So what we can do then, as well, as a more visual thing, and then for here, we can turn this into a, like, it would be cool. We're gonna get into this. I just kind of, this was just meant to be just an overview video. Now we're getting into something different. Okay, so for now, this is just gonna be an indicator light, channel 1, and then this can be an indicator and channel 2, and this can be an indicator and channel 3, and this indicator, channel 4, and this could be like target A, and target B, target C, target D, and then it needs electricity. We could just take the logic, the composite, right from the radar, and send it right into there. There we go. So whenever it detects a target, so for me, that would be just something, something else that we're gonna add, just some flair, if that's what you want, you know, just some flair. Just like, hey, now when we're flying around, and the dials are spinning, you know, and they're doing stuff, now we got something else that we can kind of check out, right? Some more buttons flashing. There we go. And then as it detects different targets, like we can go up to 8 with both screens. You know, so yeah, so this is just kind of an analysis video. I just wanted to go over the code. I just wanted to make sure that We're checking our spelling, and then of course that video output goes into a second Lua script. This Lua script is the script that prints the circles on the screen. And it rotates with the radar, right? Same thing, so we just take the rotation, rotate it with the radar. So double check this script as well, because here we define W and H, and we also define X1 and Y1, which we use here. So if you're getting any errors for these variables, just check that you have them defined. Sometimes it could be like that, and you don't define it, and then we'll try and run the code, and it'll say, there we go, unexpected symbol near equals. So then we have to go through and go, what does it mean unexpected symbol near equals? Oh, I see, and that's because, there we go, it wasn't defined, and now we have it defined. Or if we don't define it at all, let's say, what kind of error do we get? Attempt to perform arithmetic on nil value. Yeah, see, there you go. So it says we can't find the value. So I know sometimes it can be like it gives you an error and you just sort of look at it and go, well, what does that mean? The important thing is to just play with it, right? So, you know, I've just given you guys, the community, let's see, we'll just restart this. I've just given the community just a few videos of code. It's all pretty basic, right? And it's all generally the same. Here's how you create a line on the screen. It's mostly for making custom dials and that sort of stuff, right? Haven't really gotten into more complicated stuff. But I do want to try, I do want to plan on making a few more, let's see, a few more videos. I wonder if that will work. Let me see. Now, if we say screen.drawText, screen.drawText, and then what do we want? It would be like 10, how does that work? Draw text. X, Y, and the text. So in 10, down 10, and then X3. So let's just see if it prints a random number every tick on the screen. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, look at that. We do get a random number. And it is between 1 and 10. Okay. Now, that is a very powerful thing. Being able to make random number generators. Alright? So that's how we can create like a radar jamming system. That's how we can create a missile, like a prediction system. So we can predict, you know, with the tracking and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into that. I just kind of wanted to show that. As a script analysis, look, if you want to make random numbers, that's how you do it. We're going to do some pretty cool stuff. And then you can print it on the screen. We're going to get into some pretty neat stuff here. That's cool. So yeah, so I noticed a lot of individuals have been having issues on the first bit. I know this first bit of code it's pretty thick. But you're just repeating the same, you know, it's 8 times, right? And then just check your spelling, make sure the spelling is where it needs to be. Make sure that you've spelled the rotation and you got, you know, an individual, because I have to do that. I have to go back through it and check. You know, distance, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Make sure you got that. Make sure you're doing cosine and then sine, not sine and then cosine, which is backwards. I was doing that a lot too in the beginning. Yeah. See, now if we define that if we define this in this function here, then we also need to define it down here in the onDraw, where we're using it. I'm only using it here to draw the line. But all your variables you want to put before the functions, And I like the fact that we have 8,000 lines of code. That's really going to work for radar and stuff. So yeah, so stay tuned. There's going to be a few more. I hope this video helped. It was just a script analysis, probably like 20 minutes long, longer than it should be. Just kind of showing some neat stuff, and then you'll have that. So yeah, so then if you wanted to change this to a different monitor size, all you need to do is, in the code, alright, redefine this. So if it's instead of 96 by 96, it'll be, I think 32 by 32 is a 1x1 monitor. Yes. And then that way your radius changes, right? If it's 32 by 32, let's say, 32 by 32, okay. Then this, it won't matter here, it won't matter in script number 1, but it will matter in script number 2 where it draws the circles. Because 32 by 32, but you see here our radius, it starts at 12 and it goes to 48. 48 is way larger than our maximum size is 32. So our maximum size would be 30. And then we could say 22 maybe. And then I don't know, 16. And then maybe 8. Alright, so if we update that, and we get ourselves a monitor, there, now you see it's in the upper left corner there, and we are, so the outside ring at 32 we could probably just eliminate altogether. It's just way off the screen. This one here we can get rid of. And now this, our radius, instead of being 48, our radius now changes to 16. So we'll need to update that in the first script as well. Sure. Nope, just there apparently. Cool. Yeah, so from here it's again, it's just a matter of playing with it, seeing what you like. Now, in order to scale the distance, we would need to divide the distance by the radius. So in here where the distance comes in, here we're just using that distance number. But we would have to divide it, for example, divided by the radius, which is 16. And then divided by 16. Now, the radar can detect targets up to 2 kilometers. So we might not initially notice a difference in when we're detected, and it printing on the screen, because the screen is so small. So now we have 16 pixels to go 2 kilometers, right? Oh. Yeah, so you see the blue line there? It's really still close to the center. There we go. Now we're scaling. Now we're scaled to the monitor, which is neat. And then, so then we could print that distance as well. Now that's divided by the radius, it should tell us accurately the distance between us and the target. So let's just say here, we'll put it in target 1. Let's see, it'll be in 5 and it can be down 5, and it'll be distance. Let's see. There we go. There you go, that's our distance. Obviously scaled to whatever it is on there, right? So that gives you your you know, and then you can do whatever. We'll have to figure out, we'll have to connect some more dots to get that going. So essentially, so that's coming up, yeah. So anyways, this was just going to be a script analysis video. I suppose what I'll do is we can also check out the radar truck. And I was saying that with this here, you can always put the radar on this, and then you can just drop the trailer somewhere, and then you can take a video, send, and receive, and so long as you're within 8 kilometers of whatever this is, you'll be able to look through the camera. And then what we're going to do is, that's also coming up in another video, because there's going to be some Lua as well. We're going to need a monitor, probably be a 3x3 monitor. And what that will do is, we just take a camera like this. For now, obviously, we're not going to be planting it on the missile. But it would look like that. And then so wherever the missile is looking, it's going to show in there. And then what we'll do is we can zoom in and have it track the target. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out, because we're going to need a drone to fly around that we can target with this. So I'll probably have to, I have a drone that I'll take from the destroyer. The first destroyer I built, that remote helicopter. I think it's pretty sweet. So I think I have one. We'll set that up, and we'll shoot at it with missiles. That'll be the next video. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. You guys are awesome. Again, if you're struggling with the super simple radar, it's okay. I struggled with it a lot, but there isn't much to it. Just double check your spelling and just make sure that you have the code that you need. And that's it. Thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next one.